Welcome to Intro Skippers, your favorite podcast about what's streaming and the culture around it. Presented by your friends with unique perspectives on entertainment because we work in it.
We are your friends. We are. We're absolutely your friends. We want you to have a parasocial relationship with us so that you will like our podcast.
Hi, I'm Kim. You were supposed to introduce yourself and not be weird, and you did the opposite.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Hi, I am Jason.
All right, everyone. Today we are talking about Netflix's allegedly $320 million Russo Brothers extravaganza of being generic. That would be The Electric State. And I've already showed my hand.
You have.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting horrible reviews online.
Okay.
And that, of course, drew me directly to it because the curiosity was strong. And so we watched it, so you don't have to. And I'm going to say right off the bat, you don't have to. You don't have to watch this movie.
Okay, so I went into it thinking it was going to be terrible. And maybe I overshot it because at the end of the day, it was not terrible.
You loved it. You loved it.
I didn't love it.
You were like, ugh, another Ready Player One? Yes, please.
You mean Ready Player One crossed with any generic kaiju robot movie?
That is Ready Player One.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. I was thinking of Pacific Rim crossed with, I mean, I'm sorry. Can we get one piece of casting just right off the bat?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about, of course, Mr. Stanley Tucci as Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I mean, this movie did have a Jeff Bezos. Yeah.
If you're going to cast Stanley Tucci as a billionaire and not put a wig on him and dress him like Bezos, he's Bezos.
Oh, Angelito.
Yeah, I mean, you know what though? I will say he's kind of having a moment, Tucci.
Tucci
Conclave.
is having a much bigger moment than this movie.
No, of course. But I mean, the crazy thing about this movie is, like, it's got Academy Award winners, it's got Emmy Award winners, it's got all these.
Honestly,
like, it's stacked with a great cast.
I don't think anyone is well cast in this movie at all. I don't think Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt are, going to sell the heart and soul of what this is supposed to be. Though, granted, it didn't sell the heart and soul of what this is supposed to be. I think they're cynical choices because Chris Pratt, let's put him in anything. Let's make him, his thing is that he's funny and charismatic, so let's strip that away and put him in all the Jurassic Park reboot movies. Let's put him as Mario. Let's make him Garfield. Let's just put him in anything we see, and it's going to be so good. And it's to the point where I view that as lazy and cynical. He is best in Star-Lord type roles, which he did when he was Star-Lord.
Right.
I'm also, I know we're not supposed to make fun of her. I think we're not supposed to make fun of her looks, which is I agree with. But I don't think Millie Bobby Brown is a good actor. I think she's a star, but I don't think she's a good actor.
She definitely had some overacting moments, or just sort of like flat in the sense of, look, was the dialogue great? No.
No.
But did she work with the dialogue? Not really.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
These are actors who are trying to be stars, not pursue art.
Why don't we start with the positives?
Okay, go for it.
My positives from this movie.
It better not be Mr. Peanut.
No, it's not. It's more broad than that. I would say that the production design was good, and that the special effects and the CG was good.
I would say none of that was bad.
That the nostalgia factor when we were in their warehouse and it was supposed to be an alternate universe of the 90s, and you saw all the stuff that he had in rows and rows and rows with, like, old Nintendos and the singing fish and all that. That got me in the nostalgia, I guess.
And this is where I'm going to part with you.
Sure.
I viewed that use of nostalgia to be extremely cynical, like in Ready Player One. It's, it's there. So you say what? Oh, wow, look at that. Look at that. I remember,
Right.
but where's the soul? Why do this?
It's member berries. I'm trying to put a good spin on it for
You
now.
don't have to. You can tell the truth. You don't have to be nice just for the sake of being nice. You should be nice when it's due. And that's the difference between me and you. I'm not a nice person. From my point of view, is if I think it's not good, I'm not going to say, it was good. It was
Right.
all right.
I didn't say that it was good. I'm just saying that it wasn't as horrible as I set myself up to think that it was going to
fair.
be.
Okay, I don't think it's absolutely horrendous trash. I also don't think it's good in any way. And the cynicism in it, and I've used this word several times now, is what drives me crazy. It is soulless. This is an intricately designed world, yes, but there's just something empty about it. Is it too sweaty? Is it trying too hard to latch on to the memba berries part of your brain and retcon itself into being some kind of cultural landmark? Because it didn't land for me. Just nothing landed for me. The emotional elements didn't land. I don't know what I'm supposed to think about this, and I don't know who the audience is supposed to be. Who is this for? Is it for people who didn't get enough Ready Player One? Is it for kids? I think it's for kids.
Well, here I thought it was for kids until they went to the Ravager area or the scavenger bots. And that was terrifying. I was like, oh, this is not for kids. This would terrify a child, like to no end.
I just felt none of the stakes were there. The brother and sister scenes that are supposed to be the heart and soul of the movie, they didn't make me feel anything. I did not connect with it. And I'm wondering why that was. Why did none of the emotionality land for me? It was trying, but not trying hard enough on many levels. And I think that's there for, let's say, the sci-fi moral quandaries, which is, we created, as human beings, we created this, let's say, another sentient race. Mm-hmm. And do they deserve the same rights as us? That's one of the running questions in Severance, which is a pretty good sci-fi.
Yeah.
But here, it's just so half-cooked. There's also a halfway there of a current social question or issue in which one group is saying, hey, we just want to exist. Can you please just stop saying and doing things that indicate that we don't exist? And it's halfway there, but it didn't take a hard enough stand. And it was just far too light of a touch. It was like when sometimes Disney movies want to appear culturally relevant and they say, oh, this is the first openly gay character. And they have like 5 first openly gay characters because the characters don't really matter. And they land the touched points of the character in a really light, feather-light way where it's just like, what was the point of that?
What's really interesting is, like I was saying before, it is stacked with amazing actors that were all miscast.
In my opinion, yes. I think a lot of actors were wasted. I think Ke Huy Quan was wasted. I think Woody Harrelson as the Peanut was wasted, which I will never get over. Hey, we need some IP to make this more like Ready Player One. Let's do Mr. Peanut.
Yeah. And there was a blatant Dr. Pepper ad, basically, in the movie where she's holding a Dr. Pepper can for way too long when her brother in the robot is trying to tell her about a doctor.
We've got to have Dr. Pepper and peanuts. That actually sounds like a treat for the South, doesn't it?
Yeah. It could be. It can be. You've got Brian Cox.
Yeah, what is he doing here? What is he doing? What is Holly Hunter doing?
You've got even like, we mentioned Stanley Tucci, but Anthony Mack. You've got some great people.
Anthony
in
Mackie?
Here. Anthony Mackie, yeah.
Yeah, with a heavily tuned voice, so you can't even tell it's him.
Giancarlo Esposito doing sort of a pseudo-Southern accent.
I feel like Giancarlo Esposito has some kind of contract with Netflix now to make really mid things.
You even had Coleman Domingo for like 5 seconds.
Wait, he was in it?
Yes. Coleman Domingo was in the first exchange when you're learning about Keats's character when he shows up on a motorcycle at the beginning.
What? That was him?
Yeah, that was him.
What a waste of an Oscar-nominated actor.
I mean,
Why? Why? That's the question I have to ask about this movie.
To me, it felt like, and don't forget about Jason Alexander.
I did notice him.
Yeah.
I did notice him right away, and I wondered, what would 90s Jason Alexander think of this version of 90s Jason Alexander?
That's a good question that we may never know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it feels like it was sort of written by committee.
It does.
And like you said, there's too light of a touch. That is what
I wanted to get by earlier, which is
okay.
Too many people were trying to touch too many things, and that's what they did. They just lightly grazed too many things instead of really getting into a couple things the way that they deserve to get into.
If you like giant robots with...
Go watch The Iron Giant.
Yeah.
That's my angry review of this movie.
See, I don't know. See, the thing is, I liked it more than you did. I
just view it as a really cynical waste of money. And it was allegedly $320 million.
Yeah.
You can fit so many other pretty high budget movies in there.
There was another piece of nostalgia that really got me, and on a personal level. And that is, they did a shot of MTV News. And you heard the voice of Kurt Loder, who, of course, was the voice of MTV News. Now, my old band Godhead in 2001, we were actually featured on an MTV News segment narrated by Kurt Loder. And so for me, that was like the pinnacle of my career. At that time, I was like, oh my God, we're on MTV and Kurt Loder said our name. Like, life couldn't be better. So then when I heard Kurt Loder in the movie...
His AI voice?
It brought me back.
Okay.
Was it his AI voice or was it him?
He was definitely AI. I mean, it's probably his voice, but it ran through it.
I mean, he's got an IMDb credit for it. So I don't know.
He sounds much older now.
Yeah, they probably youthed him up in some way. And it was making me think about the Bill Clinton voice too. Was that an impersonator or was that an AI?
I don't know. I didn't see a credit for him.
You don't have to because it's a public figure.
I viewed it as very derivative. I just saw touchstones of other movies all over the place. A little bit like Interstellar, where, guess what? The electric state is love. Wow, there it is. It's so not lazy and convenient. So it's based on the quantum theory that says particles can stay linked way after they're in contact. And if everything is a state of electricity, it's possible that consciousness can transcend physical impediments. And that is love. Love is the electric state. Oh my God, it's love. So that's Interstellar. I've told you already, Ready Player One. The vibe of the robots, like the clockwork robots, were a lot like the Fox film in 2005 called Robots. They are meant to be charming and quirky and hey, aren't we having fun? But it didn't quite land much like that movie.
The neuroscanners were completely Severance.
Yeah,
1,000%.
Or Ready Player One. You know how they all put on those headsets?
Yeah.
And disappear into the oasis?
Right, but the whole thing about splitting the brain into two halves.
Absolutely.
I was like, Severance, innie and outie. Got it.
Except your brain is doing two things at once, basically, instead of half the time here and half the time there.
Right. Yeah.
So he was partying with Cindy Crawford and he was yelling at Millie Bobby Brown.
On the beach.
Oh, yeah. I think another reason why I'm not happy about this movie is that it's based on an illustrated novel that is quite good.
Okay.
But it's very, very loosely based on it, and that there is a girl named Michelle and she has a thing with a robot. It's vaguely there.
That's not her brother? In the book?
It's about her brother.
Okay.
But it's a 2018 dystopian science fiction illustrated novel by Swedish artist Simon Stahlhag. I may have mispronounced that. Please forgive me if I have. It's extremely different. The novel story is told with very few words, mostly pictures. So there is a break there, which is how do you tell a story that is mostly translated through images? So I think the Russos had said that they kind of filled in the blanks a little bit a little bit a lot.
I wonder what the author thinks of the movie.
He has been notably quiet, which makes me think he signed something. However, the movie has a light and winking tone, like, hey, aren't we fun? Isn't this hilarious? We're playing Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. And,
I'm not going to die to Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah, cool. It's like got that winking tone and lines that are meant to be funny. But the book doesn't. The book is not playful. There's no Mr. Peanut. The original is a somber image of America in collapse, crumbling under the weight of its own corporate creation. The setting is a lot closer to The Last of Us than what we got, in that there are zombie-like people as a result of the neurocaster addiction, and they're trying to get, the special kid to the safe zone, the in theory safe zone.
There was a movie that Bruce Willis did, I want to say it was called Surrogate or something, where people were at home with a headset on, and then like the better version of themselves was walking around. So that gave me tones of that.
Okay.
When they got to where the doctor was hiding out in his like cool, like, take the tunnel down into my underground lair, because I'm a doctor and it's a sci-fi movie, so I better have an underground lair.
We need to find a doctor with glasses.
Yeah, that was something else.
Are you kidding me?
But when they got there, I was like, oh, this is their Fallout segment. So
except Fallout is really good.
Fallout is really good. I just meant it looked just like the court in Fallout.
Again, I think one of the reasons why I have such a strong aversion is it's borrowing so much from so much, and that it doesn't have a personality or a statement of its own. And it irritates me that we have about 90 minutes of movie spread out into 2 hours.
Yeah. When she got to the point where she found her brother and she was in the make-believe world of their old house, right? Mm-hmm. I needed to take one of the dogs out, so I paused the movie and I looked at it and I go, how the hell is there... And by the way, this is when Giancarlo Esposito's character already said, like, I met someone who's worse than a robot.
His character is a bounty hunter, basically, who is using one of the drone robot suits, and Jeff Bezos hires him to go get back the little boy whose brain, well, he's not a little boy, the boy whose brain is powering basically the entire military industrial system and Amazon, because, that's also derivative. Now I've lost my point again, where it's like, it reminds me of a plot from the Venture Brothers, where the Dr. Venture powered a machine with an orphan's heart. Now we're powering all the machines with an orphan's brain.
Yeah. So at that moment, though, I paused the movie, and then I said to myself, how the hell is there 27 minutes still left in this movie?
Right.
And I soldiered through it, but it was a struggle. Like I said, I'm not saying that I even liked this movie. I'm just saying it wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be.
I can agree with you. It's not a 1 out of 10, but it's close in my opinion. It's also not, it's just not good. And I think the not goodness, the lack of originality, the amount of cynicism I spot here and there and just all in little pockets, it all amalgamates into me having such a strong aversion to what this ended up being.
Well, what's interesting is, so IMDb right now, as of recording this, has it at 5.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, the audience has it as 70%, but the critics have it at 16%.
Well, do you want to watch something that, it's kind of sucks, it's average, but it's visually okay? Sure. You can just have it on, but what does this do? Who is this for? Is it achieving its goal? What is its goal?
It clearly didn't. Whatever its goal was, it didn't hit it. I
would probably give this 2, maybe a 2.5 out of 10.
See, for me,
not
though,
out of 5.
Thinking of how good it looks visually,
but it just. Okay, the visual effects
even
are
that's
not
derivative
bad.
in your opinion?
It's so derivative.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not
but I'm thinking
catching on.
I'm thinking of the quality of the work.
The quality of the work is not bad. It is good even.
Like
but
if I was going to hire a graphic design crew for my next movie and they said they worked on the Electric State, I would be like, okay, cool. Well, then you know what you're doing.
No, I would want the visual effects artists from this, but I don't know if I would want the designers for this, if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't know what to do with this. I don't know what it is. I mean, if you enjoy it, sure, but the cynicism is just, it's not something I'm ever going to be able to get around, and it's designed to irritate me, and that's what it did.
Well, and the editing, with their travel montages, that certainly left a lot to be desired because they have to go 300 miles and then all of a sudden they're there. Mm-hmm. There's another time when they have to go to Seattle and there's just sort of a montage and then boom, they're in Seattle in these vehicles that we've never seen them acquire.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no story as to why they're in these like somewhat amphibious vehicles, and then boom, they're there in Seattle. So a lot of that kind of the not explained things of that nature really kind of bugged me as well.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, I'm sure not even being invested in it at all at that point, you were probably like, whatever.
I mean, I can understand because you can't explain everything, every bit of alternate future. Well, it's alternate past, but it does seem futuristic technology.
Yeah.
And, you don't have to explain every little thing to me, but there's just so many other things that I wish were explained.
Well, what do we do? Because I feel like we've reached the conclusion on this.
Well, I would say I don't recommend anyone watch this. I mean, if you're looking for something like Ready Player One, this is like it. If you're looking for something kind of average that you can second screen watch, you can definitely second screen watch this. But if you're looking for action, adventure, comedy, sci-fi concepts, I don't think it's there. I don't. So it really depends on what you're looking for, but ultimately I can't recommend this.
That's fine. Yeah, I can't. I'm going through my list of friends in my head. I'm looking at them all. I'm seeing each one of their faces, and I'm saying, would I recommend this to any of them? And
without shame?
Without shame. And
I would not. I can't do it.
I can't think of a single one that I would recommend this
Maybe
to.
someone with kids, but then you said it's not for kids.
I feel like it's not really for kids. I don't know. Yeah, maybe someone with kids. You're right. And just be like, hey, there's a couple of moments where there's this weird robot skull that talks like, humans.
Okay, they're going to have nightmares.
Right. Well,
it's not going to do anything for me, which is probably why I don't remember it.
Right.
Or several other reasons why I don't remember it.
The kids will definitely have nightmares over that thing.
Oh, boy. And that's what you want. All right. I would skip not just the intro, but the whole thing. Here, we tied it up.
Wow. That's the first time.
We did it. You're welcome.
Intro Skippers with Jason Charles Miller and Kim Horcher is produced and edited by Kim Horcher and Jason Charles Miller. The name order doesn't really matter. Additional writing by Kim Horcher. Theme song and incidental music by Jason Charles Miller. Take it away, me. You can rate and review this show, 5 stars only please, anywhere you'd like, and you might find your review read on a future episode. Got a question? Email us at introskipperspod@gmail.com. That too could be featured on a future episode. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Intro Skippers on your favorite podcast platform, but preferably one we're actually on. Okay, thanks for getting this far. Here's a special treat just for you.
I have witnessed your capacity for courage, and like us, there's more to you than meets the eye.
Who's that? Is that Batman?
Clearly, you haven't touched the Allspark.
Is it the Pope?
Or the Transformium.
Is it Family Guy?
Megatron's gotten to you, hasn't he?
I don't know what this is.